I was on a hike right now. I was actually looking for a good spot to record a video, but as you can see, I'm working with what I have. It's kind of hot right now, but just as someone I love getting straight into the video, like, I've taken these last 2 weeks to cherish my birthday. As you know, my birthday was May 22nd. I just turned 25, so a huge age quarterly difference, you can say, in my life. It's a quarter of my life, so I had to really just reevaluate where I was in my life. A lot of the things I wanted to accomplish and things that I would have accomplished if I had put a little bit more effort, and the things I did accomplish, of course. And that's what life is about, just always testing yourself, seeing where you stood, seeing where you can stand in the current moment. And that's just what I did. But enough of that. I think one of the biggest evaluations I've been having with myself since my birthday, turning 25, was I'm starting to realize that, like, isolation and kind of like separating yourself from a lot of people, the world, social media, and kind of like tending to yourself is actually a solution to a lot of problems, believe it or not. We grow up with this mindset and this mentality. And by the way, just a little disclaimer, it's hot out here, so excuse your boy, you know what I'm saying? But as you get older, we were born and raised with the thought of, like, people are loners, or like they're weird, or something is weird about them. But honestly, I'm starting to realize that in life, you come alone and you die alone. I know we have a family and we choose our friends, etc., but life itself is the teacher. Life itself is the sensei, I would like to say. We learn all of our greatest moments, our greatest lessons, our greatest teachings from life itself. When you're going through the hardest periods in your life, the darkest moments in your life, you'll always think of the bad times and the lessons you've learned from them. You know what I'm saying? Happy moments are memories. They're good. You cherish them. You look back, you laugh, man, that was a good time. But the times where you learned a lot in your life, and you grew as a person individually, independently, most importantly, it came from, if not the worst times of your life. And it just taught me to also accept where I'm at in my life, the good things and the bad things, the weaknesses, the strengths, the things that make me who I am today. And I think I just came to life in these last 2 weeks with the mindset of, like, whatever happens, I'm gonna accept it and understand it happened for me, not to me. And that's just one of the greatest moments I've had with my life. I know that sounds crazy. It's like, oh yeah, 2 weeks for your birthday come, you have no, but literally, like, as you get older, you'll have to relearn a lot of things that you've learned in your life, and unlearn a lot of things, and you have to change your mentality when it comes to how you look at life. The things I cherish now, I wouldn't have thought I would have cherished them in the past. In this present moment, I'm currently becoming a better person. I'm currently, like, growing continuously, and, like, these periods that I have is kind of like eye openers. And even, like, with the YouTube and creativity and everything too, like, you guys, I'm very appreciative for the new people that come to my channel, get this nice game, apply it to your own life, because that's what life is about. The energy that we put out is the same energy that we receive. You get me? And, like, I'm a firm believer that no matter what you see, like, if you don't see no progression, or if you don't see something growing and it's something you really want to do, life is short. You should always go ahead and motivate yourself and be disciplined enough to continuously pursue that. And with YouTube, bro, like, I had multiple channels that I tried to start. I always told myself, like, yeah, I'm gonna blow up on YouTube, even though I haven't yet, but I just feel it, and I just feel like as long as I'm being consistent and I'm applying this to myself, how can I look back in the future from now at this moment and be like, man, I hated my, no, bro, I was always going. And that's what any aspect in life that teaches you to continuously go, you have to keep going. Things ages like fine wine over time, especially with substance, and it's something with an actual use case, and it's just not something that you just throwing out there with no intent. You get what I'm saying? Man, it's hot. Ooh. It's hot, I ain't gonna lie to you. But you always want to make sure that you're of something with substance. Isolation allows you to dive in deeply with yourself. Dive in, with integrity, of course, because you don't want to just do things off the rib just for money, or just for followers, or just for the numbers. nothing conducive comes out of that. Nothing that is going to actually help you prosper is going to come out of that. Just something short term, very temporary, very easy, very fast paced, and it's going to leave the same way. I want you guys just to understand that, like, don't let anybody make you feel weird about isolating yourself, especially if it has something to do with growth, substance, being independent. You have to always make sure you're staying creative, staying purposeful, staying driven. Life is beautiful out here. A lot of people will spread negativity, and you can say, like, just negative bullshit, bro, that it's not gonna help you grow in any way. You get out here in the real world, get out here in nature, get out here, go on some walks, go on some trails, like, do it for real. Don't do it for the camera, and you'll see how much your life will improve. One of the greatest aspects about life is that you have free will, and you can apply that free will in any aspect of your life. If you're struggling right now, or you're down bad, or you feel like life is just stuck or stagnant, it's not really moving, understand that, like, hey, look, let me pause. Is it me or the camera is moving? I don't know if that's, but always pause and take a minute for yourself and understand, like, hey, am I doing the right choice? Am I doing the right thing? Is it the right thing to me, or is it the right thing to what society says is right? If it's the first choice, you should follow it. Never follow what society wants. It's always the opposite. They will never make us rich. They will never allow us to be rich freely. You have to really find out something that works for you and capitalize off of that, in an intentional way, of course, with integrity, something where it provides substance, where you can look back and be like, man, I'm glad I did that. Life is short, but life is also pristine, and I think your mindset will drive your perspective in life. If you have a pessimistic mindset, or if you have a negative mindset, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10 your life is going to consist of that. And I think as long as you allow yourself to be in a realm of growth and prosperity and divinity, you'll always be blessed. I promise you. I've never seen someone ever put their mind or purpose towards something and it did not work out. I've never seen that happen. I always seen it might take some time. It might be a little difficult, but I've always seen them make it out. You have to have that mindset. I have that mindset. You're watching this, so I know you have this mindset. Find yourself, find your potential, and use it to grow as an individual. Don't use it to dwell into negative substances or things that's not feeding your core value as a person, as an individual. And I think another thing life taught me most importantly was that you can't have a victim mentality, because life has its own teachings for people. The number one reason why people dwell into depression, they fall into this deep pit of depression, they can't get out of it, is because no one is there, including themselves, because you have your own conscious mind and brain that talks to you. They don't have that voice, they don't have that support system around them that actually tells them, like, hey, look, you're not bad because of the situation that happened to you, because you lost this, or maybe because you don't have a job, or maybe because you went through a breakup, or maybe because a person cheated on you. If something is making you feel bad, 9 times out of 10 you can change it. 9 times out of 10 you can transmute that energy into something good for yourself. You get me? So if you're going through depression, or you feel like no one's there for you, bro, take a pause. You're breathing, you're living. If you have all 4 limbs, oh yeah, that's even like 50% blessing right there. You know what I'm saying? And the other 50%, you have to figure out what is making me like this. If you've lost a family member, unfortunately, or if you lost somebody, my condolences go out to you. That is not an easy task to get over. I just want to put that out there. But if it's something that you could control, a job, anything that can be replaced, take a moment and ask yourself, does the higher self, the higher version of myself deserve this? No. You can be happy. It's okay to be happy, even if you don't have anything to show the happiness. I think that's what us as human beings, we kind of forgot, that money and materialistic items doesn't define our value as happiness. It doesn't define who we are as growth. So just take a time, make sure that you're always taking time out for yourself, most importantly, and understand that life has its own teachers for everybody. Things don't happen to you, it happens for you. And the greatest moments in your life when it comes to teaching, 9 times out of 10 happen when something negative happened in your life. So just accept them, accept the good and the bad parts of your life, and just understand that the more that you accept life for what it is, the more blessings gonna come to you fulfillingly. You know, it's very easy, but very hot out here. I'm about to probably record another video in my car, but continue this trail. But it's very hot. I shouldn't have wore this. I didn't think it was gonna get that hot, but I love y'all, man. It's your boy Omasaro. I love y'all, man. I'm out.